So Zhu Yuan's banner has been out for a couple of days now, and people are kind of wondering whether it's worth it or not to get her. Or maybe they might save their polychromes for later characters in the future. But maybe you want to invest in, say, the A rank characters and get more copies of them to build them up. And so today, guys, I am going to be talking about whether any of these characters are worth getting in this banner or not. And so, hey guys, my name is Mr. Ocean, and without further ado, let's just get started. So how I'm going to format this is that I'm going to be talking about each character one by one, and I'm going to go through their sense of best disk drives, best W engines, and best team comps. So it's kind of going to be like a mini guide in a sense to kind of provide some information on top of that to kind of show you whether it's worth it or not if you have these certain W engines or even have sets so far that you're starting to build up with disk drives. And so to start off with Zhu Yuan. Zhu Yuan is our first attack ether character, and for her she is range and distance, and so she is very beneficial. She's really good in my personal opinion, and to others they might not suit their style, but I would say it's a great choice and a great pick. And as for, say, her disk drives, some beneficial ones for her would be Chaotic Metal and Woodpecker Electro, as well as Chaotic Metal and Harmone Punk. For her W engines, what would be best for her, which are the four, which would be her main, which is also on the weapon banner, Riot Suppressor Mark 6, as well as the Brimstone, the Starlight engine, and the Cannon rotor. And as for her team comps, I think this is going to be the beneficial for her, since now Nicole has somebody else to rely on. And so for this team comp, it would be Zhu Yuan, Anbi, and Nicole. That is going to be a great team comp since you will have all their passives active. Anbi is a great stun, Nicole is a great support, and so having that backed up with a great attacker like Zhu Yuan herself, it's going to be very beneficial. So next we move on to Nicole, and Nicole is a great support ether character, and with her you get her free right off the bat in the game. And so it might be beneficial for you to get copies of her, and doing that might be a game changer for you. To kind of just explain, since these are A rank characters and it's more often to get copies of them, I'm just going to break down their cinemas. And so for Cinema 1, Supercharged Bomb, the damage of the anomaly buildup inflicted by Nicole's EX special attack increases by 16%. And for each additional 0.1 second of charging when Nicole activates her EX special attack, the duration of the energy field creates the target location is going to be increased by 0.15. It may seem like a small margin with these 0.1 seconds and 0.15 seconds, but it kind of drastically benefits her since she's building up more anomaly, and that's kind of what you want at first. Even if you can't get Zhu Yuan, you want to build up more anomaly with her, because I know it's kind of takes a little bit of while to build up that anyways with Nicole, since she is the only ether character that's an A rank and she's freely available. As for her second cinema, Charging Device, Nicole recovers 5 energy when core passive mechanical case debuffs is triggered, and this can affect trigger once every 15 seconds. So energy gaining is very beneficial for Nicole as well, because you're constantly wanting to use her EX skill. So having that is going to be great for you. As for Cinema 4, Field Expansion, when Nicole uses her EX special attack, Chain Attack, or Ultimate, the diameter of the energy field generated at the target location is increased by 3 millimeters. So this will probably be more beneficial catered towards smaller enemies. Since that radius is going to be increased by 3 meters, you can have more enemies come in if they're kind of more spread out. It's not that much, but it's still better than nothing. And as for Cinema 6, Corrupting Energy Field, when Nicole's energy field dealing damage to an enemy, all squad members' crit rate against that enemy increases by 1.5, stacking up to 10 times and lasting for 12 seconds. The duration of the stack is calculated separately, and so with that, when you take that into account, you're adding 15% if you get all 10 stacks. And since all squad members are going to gain it, if you decide to get Zhu Yuan, it is beneficial for that, since you're just increasing her crit rate by 15%. And so I would say getting up to Cinema 6 for Nicole on this banner is highly beneficial, and it is not a waste. And so as for her best disk drives, I would recommend Swing Jazz and Freedom Blues, as well as Swing Jazz and Harmone Punk. And for her weapons, I would say it would be Weeping Cradle, the Vault, Reverb Mark II, and Reverb Mark III. Since there isn't enough A ranks for her, I did put a couple of B ranks in there just for now. And as for team comps, it's going to be obvious. It's going to be Zhu Yuan, Anby, and Nicole. So now moving on to our final A rank character, which is Ben. Ben is the only defense fire character in this game so far. Well, as of defense, he is the only defense character. And so Ben is a little bit on the weird spot here because Ben can do massive damage and also negate a lots of damage. But sometimes people don't want to have him on the team comps that I've seen so far. I have not seen quite a lot of videos on him at all yet since he's been out. And so with that, would you say it's beneficial for you to get Ben? In my eyes, I'd say it's beneficial tremendously because I think later down the line, defense characters might slowly become better and better depending on enemy types or even depending on metas later on in the future. So I would say it would be beneficial early to get that, so then maybe later on you can pull Ben out whenever you need to. And so just to kind of explain his cinemas real quick. So for cinema 1, reacting force. When successfully blocking an enemy with Ben's special attack or EX special attack, the damage dealt by the blocked enemy is reduced by 30% for 15 seconds. So you are essentially just negating 30% and taking 30% less damage when you use his block skill. And as for cinema 2, offense through defense, when successfully triggering a block counter during Ben's special attack or EX special attack, it inflicts additional 300% of Ben's defense as damage. And so this is where it comes into play. Building up Ben's defense is going to be beneficial if you are using him, because with this cinema, you are essentially gaining more damage and his block and attack counter is going to be a massive load of damage. And so it is very beneficial if you want to get Ben and get more copies of him, definitely get cinema 2. So moving on to cinema 4, agile adaptation. When successfully blocking enemies damage when Ben's invulnerable during his special attack or EX special attack, the following counter deals 30% more damage. And again, you are adding more damage to his counter on top of that 300% which will stack based on his defense. And so for cinema 6, Wild Spirit, after launching an attack or follow-up attack during Ben's EX special attack, days inflicted by basic attacks, dash attacks, or dodge counters is increased by 20%, lasting 12 seconds. So entirely, you are essentially with Ben, you are increasing most of his EX skill damage, which is his block counter. And so his block counter is probably his bread and butter so far, which I probably know a lot of people don't like that playstyle. But for those that do, it is important, and I think it's worth it getting up to cinema 6 for Ben. And as for his disc drives, I would recommend Shock Star Disco, Soul Rock, and Swing Jazz. Or you can have just Shock Star Disco and Soul Rock. And as for his weapons, there will be Big Cylinder, Bunny Band, Original Transmorpher, and Bass, which again, I had to add another B rank there because there wasn't a whole lot A ranks. And as for best team comps, so far best team comps that I see it is if you have Soldier 11 along with Colida and Ben. And if you don't have Soldier 11 and if you have Anton, which he's also a rank character, you can also switch with him. And so I kind of hope this kind of helped you out with kind of understanding each character and kind of seeing from there with Nicole and Ben with their cinemas, seeing if it's worth it or not. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification to be notified whenever I post a new video. And so hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys later.